All right, what is up, everyone, and welcome to another special edition of the Danny Show. I'm your host, Daniel Cody. This is where I give commentary and reviews on all things wrestling. I'm gonna try not to be too long tonight because I'm gonna save my energy for tomorrow afternoon after Clash at the Castle rather. So I'm not gonna make this too long, but I'm just going to give my quick thoughts about what I felt about tonight's episode, which I believe was pre taped from last week, which we could obviously tell by Drew's fresh wounds on his back at the end of the show. But before we get to that, let me talk real quick about what I just thought about the whole show. First of all, the Viking match, the Viking rules match, I really enjoyed that. It was a great way to open up Friday Night SmackDown. I really liked how they had Kofi Kingston, who, by the way, is Punk's favorite Kingston, by the way. But in any event, by the way, that's Punk getting psyched up this past Wednesday by his best friend was awesome. In any event, and also that's the second time that babyface Punk has made fun of a heavy weighted guy. I don't want to say fat because that'll sound mean, but that's the second time I know that Punk has made fun of a somewhat overweight guy. Second time babyface Punk did that. The first time was after SummerSlam 2013. But in any event, back to Kofi and New Day versus Raiders. The match was won by the Raiders after they stood on the shift and threw Xavier through two tables to win the match, which I knew they were going to win. They weren't going to let um, the Viking Raiders look weak or get buried. Also, seeing Ivar do the moonsault, I gotta say, was awesome. Even though he missed it, the last time I saw him try to do that was in that amazing classic match that the Raiders had with Ricochet and Aleister Black before WrestleMania 35. That match was awesome. And this match was a great way to open up Friday Night SmackDown. And also, we saw in an interview that Liv Morgan wants to take Shayna's arm. Both Shayna and Liv want each other's arms. And I guess Liv has gotten a little more confident because she's been training with Riddle. Whom, speaking of Riddle, this past Monday, those two went at it. That it was like this ain't Rifle Man. I'm talking they were just going off like pow. I mean, Riddle saying that Becky Lynch is the man of the house, and Riddle Rollins went real low, talking about I didn't know Riddle was married and divorced and the kids were gone. I didn't know that situation, but Riddle Rollins obviously brought that up. That was cold blooded. I'm really invested in this match tomorrow because that was cold blooded. But in any event, Liv wants arms. Karrion Cross. We're not seeing a lot of SmackDown shorts lately under the leadership of Triple H, which I'm very thankful for. But we saw a SmackDown short tonight, and Drew Gulak once again is treated like a jobber when he went one on one with Karrion Cross. And after the match, Karrion hung Gulak on the ropes like Jesus on a cross. So there's that. There's Ronda Rousey. I think, in my personal opinion, I want to be respectful because I do not want to insult the Attitude Era, but I think in a PG-12 form, Ronda Rousey and Adam Pearce are about to become the somewhat of the Stone Cold Vince McMahon because Stone Cold was anti-authority and things of that nature, and Rousey is somewhat becoming the modern day female anti-authority. And Adam Pearce said some things tonight. Someone gave us a spoiler from last week about what happened, but what I didn't see from that spoiler from the fan was that Adam Pearce called Rousey the baddest biscuit that he's ever worked with. and now his arm is injured. But glad Rousey is not suspended anymore, and she's in a modern day matter to me reminds me a little bit. I don't want to disrespect the Attitude Era or get cussed out by the fans, but she's reminding me a little bit of a little bit of a PGer version of the Attitude Era, where Stone Cold was anti-establishment. Then we have Hit Row taking on the Maximum Male Models, and Hit Row wins. Um, the Los Mathorios helped Triple M attack the Hit Row, and then the Street Profits interfere. So that happened. And then we have Baron Corbin having a open invitation. Who does he choose? The man who started his downward spiral last year, Shinsuke Nakamura, comes out and accepts the open challenge. Pat McAfee has to dance. I mean, it wouldn't be SmackDown without Pat McAfee having a good time to Shinsuke. So you have that. I don't know what's next for Corbin. I don't know. But either way, Corbin said that he would love to have a dream match with Brock Lesnar, but with the way things are going, it's going to look like Brock Lesnar would kill him. And also, tonight we had Butch versus, well, I'm going to just say Pete Dunne versus Barthel, because he was once known as Barthel. Now he's Kaiser. But I'm just naming everybody originally. And it felt like old times. Even though he was Butch and the other one was Kaiser instead of Barthel, it felt like old times to me. It really did. And it was a good match. I think it was really good. I saw Pete the Finger Snapper come out of Butch. And I don't know why they named him Butch. It was just dumb creative skills as far as I'm concerned. I liked him better as Pete Dunne. But in any event, I wonder if under the leadership of Triple H, they can put him back as just Pete Dunne. By the way, this past episode of NXT was awesome. That was one of the best episodes of NXT because you had Walter coming in to talk to Tyler Bate. You had Pete Dunne giving words of encouragement to Tyler Bate. Tommaso Ciampa came back to talk to Braun Breaker. Shayna Baszler talking to um, who was she talking? Mandy. And then you had um, Alba Fire, formerly known as what was her name? I forgot her name. Darn it. Alba Fire comes in and talks to the current NXT UK Women's Champion, whom they had a match together with, which was good. It was just so awesome having all these great NXT stars coming back. We had Rhea Ripley coming in also, and to me, this is just a joke, but I think when she was talking about grabbing something by the groin, I think she was thinking of Dominic Mysterio. That's just a joke because a lot of people have been joking about them two liking each other, which is why they act the way they do. But in any event, you have that this past week on NXT was awesome. Ricochet challenging what's his name? Carmelo Hayes. Really excited about that. This is going to be an awesome weekend. Real awesome weekend between Worlds Collide, Clash at the Castle, and AEW's All Out. Great time to be a wrestling fan. Also, the match between Butch and Barthel was good tonight, and the celebration at the end was great. Sami Zayn pretending to be hip is so funny. You know how do I say this? You know how when you see TV shows about Caucasian people trying to be cool and they don't necessarily fit in. I'm kind of like the guy. What's his name? Carlton. I'm like Carlton. Honestly, I'm Carlton from Fresh Prince of Bel Air. But you know how you see people try to be hip and stink at it? That was Sami Zayn trying to be hip. just as long as he doesn't do what Mr. McMahon did at Survivor Series 2005. But in any event, the celebration was short lived because Drew McIntyre came out and wrecked everyone and left, including Roman. And I said I wasn't going to be here. I've been here for 10 minutes and 16 seconds. But in any event, interesting episode of SmackDown. Can't wait to see what happens at Clash of the Castle. Exciting weekend to be a wrestling fan. I will be covering some of it. I will be seeing you there. That's all the time I have for you today. I'll be back with another review on all things wrestling. See you soon.